So welcome to this practice of loving kindness for ourselves. This practice is generally easier at first, at least with our eyes closed. So maybe just closing our eyes, making ourselves comfortable, alert yet comfortable. And just bringing our attention more inwards, maybe connecting with our body, our breath. Maybe just finding a cozy place inside, just to kind of rest our attention for a moment. We feel our body on our seat, our breath in our body. And just resting with this gentle rhythm of our breath. So once we've some sense of being centered or present within ourselves, we can just enter into the loving kindness practice. And we could start just by bringing to mind some memory, image, loved one. Just bringing something to mind that connects us with a sense of warmth, joy. Maybe just brings a smile to our face as we think of them. It might be a friend, child, loved one, even a pet. Just bringing them to our mind's eye. We could imagine making eye contact or smiling at each other. Just feeling into the warmth of our connection. If a few different people, images come to mind, we could even imagine ourselves just surrounded by all the most kind and loving people we've known in our lives. Just imagine them surrounding us, just smiling, kind of warmth or reassurance. Sometimes also we can just use our imagination, and we could just imagine that in the room or the sky in front of us, it's just this beautiful presence of light, Just this presence of light. We could imagine this light just shining down on our face, almost like the sun just shining through the clouds. We could feel the warmth of the rays just touching our face, our body. And just relaxing us, easing our body, releasing any tension. We could imagine it's not just a presence of light, but it's almost this presence of love, this unconditional love, just shining down on us. So whether we're imagining a friend or loved one, or a circle of friends, or just this loving presence of light, it's like whatever is there, we imagine, we really just open our hearts and allow ourselves to receive. Just to let this warmth, this love, to let it in. We could imagine this love, this good wishes, this kindness, just flowing into our heart in the form of this beautiful, radiant light. Imagine it filling our heart, our chest, filling us with warmth, ease. We could imagine this light just flowing through our body, just releasing any tension or tightness, just filling us with a sense of warmth, well-being, a sense of calm, contentment. It's like our whole being is just opening to the experience of love. As we just rest in this way, we might become aware of a sense or feeling of contentment, well-being inside us. And we could just notice how natural or easy this feeling is. When we just connect with our heart, connect with love, the love within, there's just a very natural feeling of ease and well-being. We might just reflect to ourselves, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could just experience this sense of ease, contentment, connection with my own good heart, just more often in my life? Sometimes when we rest in this way, we might feel a sense of inner joy, happiness. Again, we could just consider, wouldn't it be wonderful just to experience or be connected with this natural joy, happiness, just more often in our everyday lives? And lastly, we could reflect or consider, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could just learn to love and accept myself just as I am? Wouldn't it be wonderful if I could learn to love and accept myself just as I am? We could kind of essentialize these kind and loving thoughts towards ourselves into these simple phrases of loving kindness. Just, may I be well, may I be happy. May I be well, may I be happy. As we sit, we just quietly repeat these phrases to ourselves. May I be well, may I be happy. May I be well, may I be happy. And if fear or anxiety is sometimes a consideration in our lives, we might like to add the phrase, just may I be safe. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be happy. And may I be safe. So as we repeat the phrases, it's not just the words, but really the meaning or intention behind them. So as we say the phrase, may I be well, just to consider, what does wellness or what does well-being feel like for me? What's it like to have a real sense of inner contentment and well-being? Maybe a memory comes, or you can just more reconnect directly to that kind of a feeling. Contentment, well-being, sense of inner calm or peace. And as we say the phrases, it's like we're just really wishing this, just wishing this for ourselves, that we might experience this more often in our lives. Just may I be well. As we say the phrase, may I be happy, just to consider, what does happiness mean or happiness feel like for me? Is happiness about outer excitement? Or is it more like a sense of inner joy or a lightness of being? What's it like to feel happy inside? And again, just wishing for ourselves that we might experience joy and happiness just more often in our daily lives. Just may I be happy. May I be well. May I be happy. And may I be safe. So even though we may be reciting these phrases, may I be well, happy, safe, as we sit, we might be experiencing or feeling other things. We might just feel restless or disconnected. We might be feeling sad or anxious. Might just be thinking about difficult things and challenges in our lives. Generally in life, it's like we don't want these kind of feelings. We try to distract ourselves from them or push them away. Just in loving kindness practice, it's like we're starting to become aware that these parts of us that feel sad, anxious, not good enough, these are actually the parts of us that most need our attention, that most need our acceptance, that most need our own love. So just as we sit, if we are aware of some of these more difficult aspects of ourselves, more difficult feelings, just seeing, can I meet them all, meet the fullness of my being, myself, just with this kind of big space of kindness, just holding them in awareness, just meeting them with acceptance, meeting them with warmth. Sometimes even putting a hand on our heart, or even two hands, just feeling that sense of connection, warmth, acceptance, kind of contact with ourselves. It's like whatever we're feeling, whatever thoughts are there, just holding them all in this big space of awareness, just meeting them with kindness. May I be well. May I be happy. And may I be safe. May I be well. May I be happy. And may I be safe. May I be well. May I be happy. be safe. So we could just take a moment now, just to notice how we are. Just particularly, noticing in our body any sense of warmth or softening, sense of contact or connection with some deeper level of ourselves. Just if we do become aware, maybe some sense of warmth around our heart or chest, or sense of softening in our shoulders, or contact with ourselves. It's just to kind of rest our awareness here for a moment or two. It's almost like kind of becoming aware of what it feels like to feel loving kindness, contentment, happiness in our being. Sometimes when we just rest our awareness in places that are warm or opening, it's almost like it enriches or helps to deepen that experience a little bit. And we could ask ourselves, just the next time I find myself in maybe tense or more difficult circumstances, maybe becoming a little bit anxious or tight, how could I remember just to come back to this place in my being? Just to come back to my breath or the phrases. What would help me just to reconnect with this sense of loving kindness or well-being within myself? And then just before we finish, maybe just to set the intention for ourselves. Really, next time things are more difficult or challenging, really, rather than letting myself become overwhelmed, just remember to come back to this place inside, just feeling centered or present, just connected with my good heart, and just meet whatever circumstances unfold. Just meet them from this place. Really just wishing for myself that I can do this. Thank you. May you be happy, may you be well, and may you be safe.